Welcome to Quick Takes. My name is Michael Antonelli. I'm a market strategist in Baird's Private Wealth Division. Today's topic is going to be a Q&A around Bitcoin. I did 2 other videos on Bitcoin on this very channel. Make sure you go watch them. But I got a lot of questions. I tried to do it simply, but I got a lot of questions about the videos. Last month, I invited my friend Jason Cooper. Jason's a portfolio analyst in Baird's Asset Manager Research Department. I invited him along to talk about some of those questions, to kind of dig into them a little deeper. So in this video, we're going to go over those questions. And in my next video, video 4, we're going to dig into some other coins, Ethereum, Solana, some other coins. So let's go. Let's do a quick Q&A on Bitcoin. I want to welcome Jason Cooper to Quick Takes. Jason is the portfolio analyst in Baird's Asset Manager Research Department. He also writes a Bitcoin bulletin that's widely read inside of our firm. Jason, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I got lots of questions I need to bounce off you.
Thanks. Great to be here.
So I've done 2 Bitcoin videos. One just kind of generally introducing Bitcoin. The second was a few takes on how volatile it is and why people like it. So I have 5 questions I want to go through today, kind of quick take style. You're one of our experts, so I'm excited to kind of hear your take on these questions. So the first question, and I'm going to throw an image on the screen as we're talking about this. I mentioned in the video that you can see all the accounts and transactions on the blockchain. Does that mean that people's names are out there and how much Bitcoin they own?
No. So there's a difference between being anonymous and pseudonymous. Anonymous, you don't know anything about the individual. Pseudonymous, you can see the sender address and the receiver address, which you have on the screen. So yep. You're able to maintain your anonymity to a degree, but you can trace the history of the transactions on the blockchain.
And that's what people really like that. The history of all the way back to the person buying the pizzas is on there. And it's not names, it's just numbers, right? It's just literally addresses.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and you'll see on the screen what we're talking about in terms of a Bitcoin transaction. So the second question, I tried to introduce mining in its simplest form. It's a question that was very, very common among viewers in my inbox. I need you to take a shot at it. Like just in the simplest terms, what does mining a Bitcoin mean?
So mining is the function where effectively these specialized computers, all they're trying to do is solve a problem and be rewarded with a block reward. When they are rewarded, they add a new block to the blockchain that contains a bunch of transactions. So you can trace those transactions then back through time, as we were just discussing. And the miners are obviously rewarded with now 6.25 Bitcoin.
Yeah, so guys, mining just means they're just trying to keep the system running, right? These blocks of just pages in a ledger of transactions, they fill up and they need a new one. Miners all compete with each other to be able to be the new block and then post a bunch of transactions that have been kind of ready, that have been stored, waiting to be processed. It happens every 10 minutes. They get 6 Bitcoins. And that 6 that Bitcoin reward gets halved over time. And I think the next halving, Jason, is, I think it was 2024 or something was the next halving of the reward. So that reward gets smaller over time, right?
Absolutely. And one of the beautiful things about the system is that it adjusts for how much computational power there is. So as more miners get added, the problems become more difficult. So then, Michael, as you were saying, you can say with assurance that block reward halving is going to occur effectively in May of 2024, every 10 minutes.
Right. Mining, my friends, is just computers making the network work, and they get rewarded for making the transactions recorded on a blockchain. So the third question I mentioned the cap is 21 million. I think there's roughly 18 million out there right now. Why don't they just raise the cap? What's stopping them from just making the cap 100 million?
So the code is readily available. Anybody can go out there and, Jamie Dimon just said, you can't verify the fact that there are only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. Go to GitHub, which is the repository for the code. You can search it out. You can read the code yourself, as I have done, see that there will only ever be 21 million. And then all of the users of Bitcoin are incentivized to maintain the integrity of the code by running their own nodes. If you were to decide to try to split off from the network, right, you can do that. And there have been historical precedences of users trying to change the numbers or the size of the block. But what ends up happening is that those assets when priced in Bitcoin just trend to zero.
Right. And what's that term? That's called forking, right? If a bunch of users said, let's go make a Bitcoin with a 500 million cap, that's a new Bitcoin, right? It's not even the same thing.
Absolutely. But why is anybody going to then trust, the Antonelli coin versus the established Bitcoin. It's all about trust minimization.
Right, right. So there's 18.5 million now. I think the mining that we just mentioned earlier to get to that cap, which is 21 million, I think that's going to happen, what, like 100 plus years from now? 2140 or something like that?
Exactly, 2140.
All right, so much further than anybody here. Hopefully we all do live to that point. But all right, so the next question, and I'm curious about this one. What do you think is the biggest weakness of Bitcoin in your mind? We talk about its strengths, the decentralized nature of it, kind of how it's globally portable. Those are all positives. What do you think is a negative? What are your biggest weaknesses?
I think that the biggest weakness is the fact that it's so contrary to our existing system, and it's a new technology. So, this is your third video now trying to explain Bitcoin. You're doing a fantastic job, but you're going to have to make a lot more, because people have a very difficult time grasping this absolutely scarce digital asset when, the memes now are, we live in the fiat economy, the money printer go burr economy. And it's
right.
hard to understand how different this system is.
Think about even vaccines. I generally know what a vaccine is. I know what it does. I know what the COVID vaccine is, but I can't explain a COVID vaccine. I don't know the science on stuff behind it. So what Jason's saying there, I agree with. It's just, this is hard to explain. It's hard to wrap your arms around it. That will, I think, be one of its biggest weaknesses for a while, until kind of more time goes on, right? Until more people can kind of, think about it deeper.
Absolutely. And, I don't think very many people know how the current payment systems work. You swipe your Visa and the payment goes through, but eventually it's going to become very easy to use this technology to make purchases. And you might not even have to know how it works. You just become used to the fact that it does.
Right. I don't know how they print dollars. I don't know how many they choose or when it kept. So yeah, there's lots of things in life that are tough to explain. So my last question, as we wrap up here, I just looked before we came on. Bitcoin's trading at 64,000 US dollars. The previous videos I recorded, it was trading at 47,000. So who knows where it'll be in my next video. But why is it worth 64? Just give us your take. Why do you think it's worth 64 right now?
I think, it represents gold or digital gold 2.0. The total addressable market for gold right now is about $12 trillion. Bitcoin is roughly 10% of that. As a digital gold, it has the capacity to do things that gold can't do. It's being used in El Salvador right now as money. Gold hasn't been used as money in the United States really since 1913. So on a go-forward basis, it has the potential to effectively take that total addressable market of gold and maybe even build to it on it as nations with inherently weak monetary systems maybe turn to Bitcoin as a potential solution.
Right. So it's a new kind of asset, right? It's a new kind of asset. Some people have likened it to digital gold. And I made the point that, when people dug gold out of the ground at day zero, there's no way gold was worth anything. People were probably like, what are you talking about? This is a rock. And it eventually just became a store of wealth. And like you're saying, there's multiple asset classes out there that are worth trillions and trillions of dollars. And Bitcoin, I think, is what is it, 1 trillion right now? So
yep.
Yeah. So it's a new asset class that, people are throwing all sorts of hopes and dreams into. Could be worth 60, could be worth 0, could be worth $1 million. Nobody knows, right? Obviously, nobody knows the future, but it is something that we want to just kind of be open to intellectually. That's the point of these videos, really, is just to kind of educate ourselves going forward here. So, Jason, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If I need you, will you come back if I need some more questions answered?
Absolutely, love being here. Thank you, Michael.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And guys, look for my next video. I think I'm going to start talking about some other kind of coins like Ethereum or Cardano or Solana. So we'll see you then. Thanks so much for coming.